Ladies and gentlemen, cats and kittens, boys and girls, I'm Carbonor. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to the second half of Fall Guys Fortnite Friday. I hope all is warm as well in your world today. Things are pretty cool here. Well, actually, they're not cool. They're actually pretty hot here. If you were listening or watching the last stream of the last half of the stream, the first section of Fall Guys, you will have heard me explain that the Freon in my air conditioner needs to be recharged. So it is extremely hot in my house right now. It's like 80. It's gone down to 82 degrees. Luckily, I just saw the weather that says it's going to be cooling over the next 2 days. So that's excellent news. But yes, it is not very cool here. It is very hot here. But such is life. These things occur. These things happen. Regardless of which, I'm still here doing my streams. I apologize for taking so long in between the Fall Guys and the Fortnite live stream. I had a sudden need to use the bathroom. We might eventually have to try some of these things. A horror game, huh? Where you have to be quiet. Yeah, we might eventually have to try some of these modes. I know what I might do. I know what I might do. I might try some of them off stream just to see which ones I like. Although, would it be better for me to do that, or would it be better content to experience things that I end up being like, oh, this is shit. Why am I even doing this? I don't know. I guess that's not for me to determine. So let's check out the shop. I kind of checked it out last night, just because I happened to be fucking around and thought, hey, let's see what's going on there. I already have Catwoman. I'm not really interested in Bloodsport. I mean, I want all the Marvel and DC, all the comic book characters they have eventually, but Bloodsport's not a oh my god, I've got to get Bloodsport kind of character. You know what I'm saying? And there's not anything really of any interest at all currently. So we go straight into it. And as you see, we are playing as the Sea King, my Aquaman, essentially. Last week was my Batman, and then the week before that was my Superman. So here we have Aquaman. I'll give you a quick little look at the rest of the people, just for shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles. This was my Superman. Obsidian. This is my Batman, the Crimson Eclipse. My Aquaman. This is pretty much my Iron Man. Toolbox. Jetstream is kind of, I guess you could call her, she's kind of supposed to be like kind of a hawk girl kind of thing. Super speed, hawk girl kind of thing. Then we have my Atomic Punch, who just, punches real hard. And then Tremor, obviously, controls earthquakes. That's my little superhero team. Made up from their superhero outfits that you could change the designs of and the colors of and the masks and everything. It was pretty cool, really. And this is who I ended up making. But as I said, we're doing Sea King now. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. And again, anybody out there watching, if you want to play, I'm totally down with that. If you want to jump in and we want a duo or trio or squad up, I'm totally down for that. But I'm just going to say right now, I'm not doing one-on-ones. I don't know if I need to like put that in the description or anything, because anytime I play Fall Guys, I get a whole lot of fucking people that want to do custom matches, and it's like I don't want to just play me versus one other person. That's not entertaining. I know there's people out there that are like, hey, let's do it, you know, that'll be cool. And maybe some people are like, hey, I want to be on the live stream or something like that, and I can understand that. But it's not fun. The entire draw of these kind of games, Fall Guys and Fortnite, as I have said, and I will beat this dead horse until it is nothing but paste. The entire fun of Fall Guys and Fortnite is the fact that there are so many fucking people involved in it, and it makes it just a chaotic fucking mess. That's the whole purpose, the whole reason that these games are fun. The whole reason is because it's the unpredictability. When you take all that away and you just have one person versus one other person, it's not the same. It's not entertaining for people who might be watching. It's just not. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not. And I appreciate anybody who wants to play with me. And as I said, I would absolutely love it. But where the fuck are you? There you are. It's just not what I want to do, guys. It's just not what I want to do. And I apologize if that offends anybody, or if, you know, anybody's like, oh. But it's just not fun for me. And if it's not fun for me, it's not going to make a fun video. It's not going to be something that anybody's going to want to watch. They're going to be like, this is boring. Fuck that fucking hunting rifle. There's a lot of shit going on. Pretty close to me at the moment. That's a better gun. I'll take that, thank you. Can I get some shit now, guys? Be alright there, buddy. In the water? Get out of the fucking water. Oh! Fuck! Doing alright as far as the storm goes. Seems to be. Oh, wish I had enough money for that. Shit. Okay. I see you, asshole. Oh shit. Damn, that was... Yeah. That was some shit right there. That was some serious death and destruction just going on. I landed in a hotbed. Not much I could do with that one. I tried. I valiantly tried. But 'twas not to be. The Fall Guys portion of Fall Guys Fortnite Friday. Oh, I think this one's finally. One last breath of life out of that ladder. Oh shit! That reminds me. Cause I was talking in circles. You have to excuse me. I was a little bit groggy. I pretty much woke up 30 minutes later. I was doing a live stream of Fall Guys, and I woke up really sweaty, so I didn't have really good sleep. So, you know, that's partly why I was just ranting and raving. But I'd said that my sister and my mom, they buy me useless bullshit. You know, they see something that they know that I might like or might be tangentially attached to something that I might like, and they would buy it for me. Well, my sister bought me like 2 packs of solid black Bic lighters. I mean, like even the metal. You know how the top part of a lighter is like silver? Even that is solid black on these. The only thing that's not solid black on them is the flint. The little turning thing. Other than that, they're all solid black because she knows that I like pretty much all accessories to be solid black. Black is my favorite color. So that's that. I never got to that point last time. So if you were watching Fall Guys and you were like, where was he ever going to finish this point? I just did. But I spent most of the Fall Guys stream talking about MCU and how bad it had fucked up everything. And I guess now we're going to talk about DC EU, or the DCU, and how bad it has fucked up everything. So here's the deal. Am I a Snyder fan? Absolutely. Yes, I am. I'm absolutely a fan of Zack Snyder and his vision for the DC universe. Now, was everything perfect? Was everything comic accurate? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I'll admit that. It absolutely wasn't. But the one thing that he had over anything done by the MCU is that he took it deadly seriously. And that's the way you have to play comic book stuff, because it is so outlandish, it is so ridiculous, it is so unbelievable and far-fetched that you have to treat it as if it is fucking Shakespeare. And that's at least what he was willing to do with his characters. He was willing to go to places that sometimes you're going to have to go with heroes. You're going to have to go with them dealing with the fact that, there's nobody in the world that understands what they go through, that nobody understands what it is to be Superman, to be able to hear every voice in the world all at once crying out for your help and not being able to do anything to help everybody, still wanting to have some kind of life of your own, dealing with governments that are like trying to say, hey, you can't do this, that's unsanctioned, and being like, well, stop me then. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the kind of hero that I would be. If I had Superman's fucking powers, I'd be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop these things. These things are not going to happen anymore. I'm going to go, like the quest for peace, Superman 4, destroy all the nuclear weapons on the face of the planet, except I wouldn't go to the UN and say, hey, this is what I was going to do. I'd just be like, hey, you don't have these anymore. These are gone. We're done with this. It's not happening. I would be going to like other countries and just wiping out their forces, just wiping them the fuck off the planet and being done with it and being like, there it is. We don't have to worry about that anymore. It's over. And I wouldn't give a shit what the world governments thought of me. I wouldn't give a shit what they were like, but I'd be like, I don't care. Stop me. Do something to stop me. I guess you could say that I would almost be a villain if I had the powers of Superman, because I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't care. I'd just be like, okay. Oh, you don't like it? Oh, okay. Well, stop me. When you figure out how to stop me, you let me know. Until then, we're going to do things this way. I mean, I'm not saying that I would just randomly, I would be Homelander about it at all. But I would be way, way, way more proactive. Like go to all the prisons and be like, okay, who's on death row? Death row? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kill all those people now. No more problem. No more deal. No more reason to worry about it. They're all dead. I would, I'd do a whole lot of things to our government, and it's representatives. There'd be a whole lot of them that wouldn't be in office anymore. Let's just say that. Let's just leave it at that. They wouldn't be in office anymore. Let's just say that. And I'm not saying that every decision that anybody ever made would have to go through me, but once it was clear that somebody was corrupt or dishonest, you're gone. Sorry. You're gone. Later. No more of that. So yeah. The world would be at peace if I had the power of Superman. Because I'd be a lot like Batman, who occasionally has gotten in the comic books, has for one reason or another has gotten Superman's powers. Hey. Oh, you motherfucker! I couldn't switch my gun quick enough. But yes, that was one of the things that I liked about Zack Snyder's approach, is because he took it fucking seriously. He didn't turn every one of his characters into a witty fucking, stand-up comedian who just happens to have a fucking super suit on. And that's what Marvel ended up being, as I stated in the last Fall Guys episode, that I think that the best MCU movie is the Guardians of the Galaxy, without a doubt, without hands down. But the problem is that it was also what killed the MCU, because no longer were any of the characters distinct. After the Guardians of the Galaxy, everything had to be funny, haha. There had to be jokes. Every moment of tense emotional weight had to have that comic relief to be like, all right, okay, it's not so serious, everybody. It's just a movie. And that was one thing Zack Snyder didn't do. He let those heavy moments stay. He wanted you to understand that how broken superheroes are. I mean, think about it. Think about it. You were born with this ability that makes you completely different from every other human being, every other person walking the planet. You can do things that other people can only dream of, right? There's, so right off the bat, that makes you isolated from people, because you have such a huge secret that you have to keep, that you have to maintain for your own safety, for the safety of the people that you love, your family, your friends, and all that shit. And these are heavy things that these people have to deal with, because they have a sense of duty to help, but simply because they can't. Not because they have to, because they can't. Not because anybody's forcing them to, not because it's just simply because they can't. I have this ability that lets me be able to be, you know, to super speed. I can be across the planet in 5 seconds. And I have a responsibility to use that power for good, not just for my own exploitation, not just to, you know, not just to better my own life, but to better humanity as a whole. And that is a huge weight that they take on themselves, and they don't have to. You know, a superhero could just as easily go through their life and just use their powers on occasion when they had to, you know, or like to make, you know, oh, I've got super speed and I've got to cut all this lumber, you know, so they could use their power when nobody's looking and get rid of it and be like, ooh, that was a hard work day. But that's, you know, they could do that, but they don't. They choose to be like, all right, if I've got super strength, then I'm going to go help people that need help. And that, you know, that, what that must do to somebody to put that on yourself, it's huge. And Zack Snyder appreciates that. Zack Snyder is like, yep, this is what it would be like. This is how you would be. You'd be lost. You'd think that you didn't have anybody who could understand. All right, I'll take that. I will take that. Somehow came out on top of all that. Double kills and all. Well, let's go ahead and drink you. So that's why I appreciated his vision. That, you know, it wasn't 100% comic accurate. Absolutely, it was not. But he understood. He understood. What would it be like to be an alien from another planet that is essentially a god compared to us? And to decide, because your parents, your adopted parents, raised you to be a good, decent human being, and, you know, somebody like Superman has absolutely no reason at all to do what he does. But he does. And that's part of it. That's part of what is not understood by the people who write this shit these days, is they don't understand sacrifice. That's the name of the game when it comes to superheroes. Sacrifice. About being more than what you are, being something better, something bigger, something that gives people hope, something to strive for, something, you know. That's what superheroes are supposed to be. And it's not funny. Most of the time, the shit that they do is not funny. These people are in oftentimes life and death situations, trying to save, you know, dozens, hundreds, thousands, even millions of lives. This is heavy shit. Heavy fucking shit. And it should be treated as such. Yeah, that sucked. That sucked. My guns weren't loaded. But what James Gunn is doing with the DC universe is a mistake. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I just saw the trailer for the fucking for the Lanterns show. What the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? He does not understand the lore. He does not understand the history. He does not understand their powers. There was a scene where that I guess it's Hal looking through his fucking closet and he sees a uniform, a Green Lantern uniform hanging there. No. They are not assigned a uniform. They are not given, hey, here's your suit. You know, make sure you dry clean it and everything. They create their uniforms. Now, I know everybody has oh my God, the computer generated uniform of fucking Green Lantern with fucking Ryan Reynolds. We got to stay away from that. I understand that it wasn't perceived very well, but that is essentially what it would be. The uniform of a Green Lantern would radiate. It would move. It would constantly move. One of the ways, like Kyle Rayner, the Green Lantern, he's an artist, right? He's an artist. He draws, he paints, he's an artist. So they described his uniforms and the things that he the constructs that he created as they would constantly be in motion, constantly moving, because that was his thought process. He was, being an artist, he's constantly trying to make it better, and that influenced the way his shit was made. It was like it was almost alive, and it was constantly changing. And then you had John Stewart, who's such a technical, military guy. When he would create his constructs, he creates them from the inside out. So if he creates a gun, he creates every single piece of the gun and builds it before he uses it. You know what I'm saying? And you had like Kilowog, who's his willpower is so strong that his constructs are the only ones that make noise. Nobody else's make noise, but when he like shoots off a ray from his ring, it makes sound. And then you have Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner's ring, because he's so hot-headed and so, short-tempered, his ring sparks. It's always throwing off little sparks and shit like that. And everything that he creates has those little sparks to it. And that's because it is completely created in their head. And that applies to their uniforms as well. So it's like, what are you doing, James Gunn? What the fuck are you doing? I'm going to tell you right now, Supergirl is going to bomb. Supergirl is going to bomb. Nobody's going to watch Lanterns. And now that Warner Brothers has been sold to Paramount, with any luck, they are going to shit can James Gunn, who never should have been put in charge of anything at all. He is not a great genius. He makes some decent movies, but he makes the same movie over and over and over again, just with different characters. His movies are not different. They're not unique. Everything is exactly the same as the last one. Oh, look, there's a bunch of quirky characters, and oh, look, there's all kinds of fucking classic rock, and oh, look, there's all kinds of witty modern-day references, and that's it. There's a James Gunn movie in a nutshell. And oh, I'm gonna unpredictably fucking kill these random people just because I think it's funny. That's a James Gunn movie. Bottom line, that's James Gunn for you, right there. Blood, guts, and funny. That's all he knows, and that is not good for a comic book movie. That's one of the flaws that they often make with making a comic book movie, is that they kill people. People die. That should not happen. Only in extreme cases, and I mean extreme fucking cases, should that happen. Because if you introduce a character like just say, for instance, you're like, okay, we're going to introduce the Riddler, and then at the end of the fucking movie you kill the Riddler. Well, guess what? Now you've got no more Riddler stories. And there's a shitload of them. Fantastic fucking stories. But now you've just destroyed that opportunity, because you premiered him, you debuted him, and now you've killed him. Okay, great. What was that? Is that anything useful? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so the DCU is going to fail. Supergirl is going to bomb. Nobody's going to watch Lanterns, and Paramount's going to say, "Hey, we want Snyder back." And I truly believe that Snyder would do it. Because in a lot of ways, the only thing that's keeping his career alive is the Snyderverse fan base. People who, I mean, I absolutely love everything that the man does because he respects the the source material. First off, he respects the source material. He takes it seriously. Everything that he does has a kind of like a metal a metal kind of feel to it, and I dig the shit out of that. Everything he does is like epic, and that's perfect for fucking comic books. Just the way he approaches filmmaking is perfect for comic books. Yes, there can be light moments. Yes, there can be humor on occasion. But not every hero throws out one-liners in a life or death situation. They take it seriously. And I kind of am rooting for James Gunn to fail. I'm massively rooting for him to fail, and for the DCU to fail. And if that means that nobody makes any more DC movies for a very long time, good. You're okay. Is that supposed to be bad? I don't think it is. I don't think it's bad at all. All the comic book movies need to stop for a while. And the sad thing is that I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to kill it because they're not going to take a break. And they need to take a break. You do not need fucking 3 Marvel movies and fucking 3 Marvel TV shows every goddamn year. You don't. You don't need that. Take a year off. You know? Occasionally be like, all right, we're going to take a break for a little bit. We're going to let y'all appreciate what you've already experienced. And then we'll be back and we'll make something new. There's a lot of shit happened over here, apparently. Oh, are those purple? Is that purple? It is. That's better. Okay. Okay. We're not looking too bad right now at the moment. Got a good start. Got a good start going. Got a good start going. Got a long way to go for this storm phase. That's my thing. James Gunn does not know how. Oh my God! Just modern day writers don't understand. They don't understand good people. They don't understand good guys. They want to sympathize with the fucking bad guys. They want to fight and how the bad guys. Well, maybe they were right. They're not fucking right. They're not right. Villains want death and destruction. They want to kill innocent people. They don't care about them And that is why heroes stop them, fight them. Where are you at? Outside? Yep. Uh-oh. La Parka tried to kill me there. Did you see that? That wasn't cool. I've always liked La Parka. That's a wrestler, in case you didn't know. Luchador. Nothing of any use there. Reload. And I'm tired of them putting people in charge of these movies that have no appreciation or understanding for what a fucking hero is. And they don't. They have no idea. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I'm afraid we're not going to be doing too good. I don't know who this person is or give a shit, but it was pretty chick, so I put it on my thing. Sabrina Carpenter, is that who that is, I guess? I don't know. I don't care. It was just a hot chick to put as a window thing. But yeah, Marvel needs to stop for a few years, get all their shit in order, get all their characters back to the main to their roster, you know, get ownership back of everybody, and then start the Marvel universe the way it should be. And the same thing goes for DC. DC needs to start. I wouldn't even mind if they started with a Justice League movie. If done right, they could kick it off with a Justice League movie. You know, there's many stories about the first, you know, how they came together and how they became a team and shit like that. There's all kinds of fucking stories. And you could do a quick little synopsis, a quick little recap of everybody, you know, maybe a little flashback for everybody and show how their origin went. And then maybe flesh that out in later movies with flashbacks as well. Have them have existed for a while and kind of know about each other. You could do it that way. You don't have to start out with every character having their own origin movie. That's not necessary. People essentially know where Clark Kent is from. They know Superman's story. They know Batman's story. They're pretty well aware of Wonder Woman's story. There are certain characters, Spider-Man, Captain America, the Hulk. We don't need a recap of every time you're going to reboot things. Going, okay, we need a completely new origin movie. No, you don't. Just recap it, flashback it, show it in the fucking opening credits, something along those lines. You absolutely do not need to start at the very beginning for every one of them. Well, this is a good place to land. Three right here. But yeah, I firmly believe that the DCU, as James Gunn calls it, is going to fail. Because also, if you look at Lanterns, the TV show, it contradicts the fucking Superman movie. Unless it's going to be pretty clear that it takes place way before or something. Because Hal Jordan is supposed to be training Jon Stewart, and they got the training all fucking wrong. You don't get selected and then you go in for fucking training before you get a fucking ring. The ring selects you, and you've got the ring, and it takes you back to Oa, where you then get trained to how to use it. You don't get selected and be like, okay, we'll get you a ring eventually. No, right off you get a ring when you get in, just by nature. Because when a Green Lantern dies, the ring leaves that person's finger and immediately begins the search for the next person that it finds worthy. It does it all on its own. It's an automatic fucking process because the Green Lantern rings are to a degree sentient. And once they find somebody, it just attaches to you, and it's yours. It can be taken away, absolutely, but it's yours. It's a whole process to have it taken away from you. But yeah, so he tells Jon Stewart that he's the only human Green Lantern, yet we just saw a Superman movie where clearly, and he's in Peacemaker too. So obviously Hal Jordan is not the only human Green Lantern. So is this take place before Guy Gardner became one? It's just it's the continuity. He has just shit canned every sense of continuity. Every sense of continuity he has just absolutely thrown out the fucking window. He saved that piece of shit Peacemaker show because his wife is one of the stars of it, and because he likes the characters. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. In the timeline, how it fucking works, none of it makes any sense. He's just trying to shoehorn it in there so he can keep his show going, because, he's got a hard on for the irreverent characters and the stories that are stupid. It's, I'm rooting for it to fail. I'm ready for there not to be any more comic book movies at all anymore. Period. I'm ready for it to end. I'm ready for comic books to go back to the tiny niche audience that it had, of people who love and respect the characters and who do not want to see them change just because, well, the modern audience wants more women. The modern audience wants more black people. The modern audience wants more diversity. Fuck the modern audience. No, they don't. You want to know why? How I know that that's not what they want? Because everything that you make with those principles at the forefront fails. Everything that Hollywood makes that has those principles as the core tenet and the basis for what the universe that you're building or the story you're telling fails every single time. So no, the modern audience does not want this. A bunch of fucking piece of shit motherfuckers on mentally deficient and retarded people on Twitter want it that way, but those motherfuckers aren't the ones who spend money. It makes them feel good to know that the new Superman is gay. It makes them feel awesome to know that. Are they going to pick up an issue of it and read it? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. But it makes them so happy just knowing that Superman is gay. They will never read a fucking comic book. Ever. 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 But that's just one of those little things that they can throw out. Well, Superman's gay now. Yeah. We wanted Superman to be gay, so they made him gay now. Well, do you read the book? No. I don't have the money to spend $5 on a comic book. Well, you know who does? Me. And you know what I don't want? A gay Superman. Do I care about your feelings? Nope. Do I care about what makes you feel, seen? Quote unquote? Nope. I don't give a fuck if you're seen or not. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. I don't give a fuck if you live or die. I don't give a fuck if something that I believe causes you pain. Good. That's all I got to say. If something that I believe causes you suffering and pain, good. Good. I'm allowed to believe what I want. I'm allowed to be who I want to be. I don't have to respect you. I don't have to respect your beliefs. I don't have to respect your existence at all. At all. There is no rule in the human world that says, hey, if these people say this, then you have to fucking respect it because, you know, we have to be nice to people. Fuck you. I don't have to be nice. Where's that written? Where's that written that I have to be nice or respectful to other people? Somebody show me where it says that in the human guidebook. The human handbook. Show me where it says that. That I have to give a fuck about what you think. Show me where it says that, because I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I don't care if you're represented. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if as a young black child that you were out there thinking, man, I wish I had a Superman that was black so I could identify with him. The color of your skin shouldn't make you identify with a fucking superhero. You know what should? His life. You don't have to... A superhero, a character in a story doesn't have to have the exact same life that you've had for you to be able to identify with them. And if you do require that, then you're a fucked up human being. You're a fucked up human being. If the only way that you can enjoy a story is if the main character in it has the same skin color as you, then you are a shallow piece of shit. You are a shallow piece of fucking shit. Simple as that. I would never ask somebody, ever, under any circumstances, to be like for instance, I mentioned Black Panther and was given Black Panther shit in the Fall Guys portion of Fall Guys Fortnite Friday. But that doesn't mean that I would be like, I want him to be white. If Black Panther was white, I'd buy the comic. No, it wouldn't. I still wouldn't buy it. It wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference to me at all if he was white, if he was blue, if he was chartreuse, if he was plaid. It wouldn't make a fucking difference. I don't like the character enough to buy his fucking book. No matter what color you make him. I can watch a movie starring a black person, a black guy. I can watch a movie with a black hero And I can identify with the struggles that he goes through, because they should be struggles that all of us go through. And despite whatever you say, there are things that all humans experience equally. Now, am I saying that I have to deal with racist piece of shit that immediately devalue me and my opinion because of the color of my skin? No, I'm not saying that at all. But the human struggle is something that we all experience. It's something that we all go through. And just because I might be white doesn't mean that I don't have to suffer, as well. It doesn't mean that I don't have struggles. It doesn't mean that I don't have people that look down on me. Like, for instance, I have long hair and a scruffy beard, and I wear a trench coat. So when I go out in public during the cold season, or anytime really, I look like somebody that most people would be absolutely scared shitless to leave their child alone with. And in all honesty, I am one of the safest motherfuckers in the world. You could leave your child with me if I was like, okay, yeah, I'll watch your kid, and I would protect that fucking child with my goddamn life, with my fucking life. But I don't look like somebody who would. You know what I'm saying? I don't appear like somebody who would. I can't tell you how many times I've walked through Walmart or the mall or any kind of store like that, and a mom with her kid will be walking down the same aisle and will put her arm on her hand on the kid's shoulder and pull them in closer when they pass by me. Now, I don't stop and immediately say, "Why are you doing that for? You think I'm going to hurt your fucking kid or something? You fucking, piece of shit. Why are you making these snap judgments about me? You don't know who I am." I'm not going to fucking do that. That's fucking stupid. Because I know what the majority of people who look like me are like. And there are a shitload of people who look like me that are not people you would want to leave your child alone with. I understand that, and I don't take offense when somebody assumes that because you look this way, you might be one of those people. I don't take offense to that. That's perfectly understandable and acceptable, because every human experiences things differently. You know what I'm saying? Like that mom that pulled her son closer, maybe she knew somebody like me in high school, and she thought they weren't trustworthy, or they were mean, or they were this, or they were that. So it's totally understandable that you have biases in your head based on your experience. That is being human. That is being human. If the only black people that I have ever come in contact with were the black people that, I don't know, mugged me one day when I was just minding my own business, living my life, and all of a sudden a group of them came up on me and mugged me, if that's the only experience in my life that I have ever had dealing with black people, then I'm always going to be cautious around black people. If anytime I ever encountered, I don't know, country music fans, if anytime I ever experienced country music fans was in a negative way that caused me pain or caused me strife or inconvenience, then I'm naturally going to assume that the next country music fan that I meet is going to be the same way, because that is humanity. That's the human experience. That is the way we go through life. We learn based on what we experience. Now, is that fair to people who is that if I had been mugged by a group of black people and that was the only experience that I had ever had with a black person, is that fair to every other black person that I would then come in contact with, that I judge them based on what those people did? No, it's not fair. It's not fair. And I'm sorry that that's the way it is, but kids, that's the way it fucking is. That is the way it is. That is what it is to be human. To live, to learn, and to grow. You're not always necessarily going to be right, but that doesn't devalue your past experiences. Like nobody ever complains when nobody ever complains that a black person doesn't trust a white person because they've experienced racism from a white person before in their lives. Nobody ever says, well, you shouldn't judge all white people like that. But immediately they're like, oh, of course, all white people are evil. You know? But if you have a legitimate experiences that shapes your beliefs and your ideas and your notions of people, well, that's not right. That's racist. It makes no fucking sense. It is such a double fucking standard. Such a double fucking standard. And that's not fair. That's what's not fair. The double standard. But you got to understand, I mean, just like I said with me, I know what people who look like me are usually like. So I do not take offense when somebody sees me and assumes that I'm one of those people. You know? Like Dave Chappelle, remember in one of his routines, he was talking about women going out dressed in slutty clothes, and then getting pissed off because people treat them like pieces of meat. And he's like, well, in my defense, you are wearing the uniform. You know what I'm saying? That's a very real thing. So, I present myself in a certain way, and I know how other people who present themselves in the same way, I know how they are. I know what people think about them. And it doesn't offend me when people assume that, well, you must be one of them. I'm not. But, I understand why you would feel that way, and I don't hate you for it. I don't think you're an evil person for it. And that's all I'm saying. Is that people just need to chill the fuck out. You might not be a bad person, but the last person that I ran into that looked like you was. So, am I not allowed, to take that into consideration? To take my own past experiences, my own past, am I not allowed to do that? Are we not permitted as human beings to be human? Because that's basically science. That's the way science works. Is that there's a series of hold on. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I don't know. I don't know how we went from DCU to racism, but there we are. There we are. Just people are just so fucking quick to call out racism. People forget that you're not just the color of your skin. There are so many other elements that make you the person that you are. And your skin color is just one very small portion of that. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter what color your skin is. If you are a worthless piece of untrustworthy fucking piece of shit, then you are a fucking worthless, untrustworthy piece of fucking shit. Skin color has nothing to do with that. The content of your character and what you do with your experiences and your learned your knowledge, your wisdom, what you have fucking seen and done, and how you choose to act despite all of that. That is all that matters. So you faced hardships in your life, right? Okay, great. So you've experienced negative things in your life. Join the fucking club. Join the fucking club. Join the fucking club. People act like white people never suffer. That being born white is like, oh, that's like the get out of jail free card. You're never going to experience anything bad in your life, and the minute you're out, you're born, somebody hands you $100,000 fucking dollars and you're good to go. That's not what happens. White people experience pain, misery, hardships, ache, loss, hard times just as much as any other race. And in fact, currently, more than any other race. You know why? Because you're allowed to say and do anything that you want to do. Anything you want to say and do about white people, and it's just totally okay. You can go on the news and say, I think all white people need to be put in re-education camps, and man, we need to do something about white people. There's just too fucking many of them. They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to say that shit. What is happening here? And nobody bats an eye. It's just like, oh yes, of course, yes. I don't even have a fucking gun yet. This guy seems to want me dead pretty bad. Because he is... Go on with your bad self. I need some shit, but at the same time, I think I need to get the fuck away from this area, because that person might be looking for me. I'm just so fucking tired of being the bad guy because of the color of my skin. I'm tired of being everybody's scapegoat. And really, I am in the demographic right now that it is okay, it is just absolutely okay to do whatever the fuck you want to people like me. A white, straight, Christian male. I am the evil of the world. I'm a white, straight, Christian male. Holy shit. I'm pretty much a demon. I want everybody to die. I want everybody of, a darker skin tone than me to be put in shackles and be treated like slaves. This is what they legitimately can go on TV and just fucking say with such fucking certainty. With such fucking just, oh no, this is obviously true. And the fucking talking heads on the news are just like, oh yes, of course. Yes, of course. Yes. Oh, yes. You have to experience all this stuff. Yes. Oh, totally. Totally. Yes. White people are bad. White people are bad. I'm just so fucking tired of it. I'm just so fucking tired of it. People with low character and low morals wanting to explain away why they have low character and low morals because of, well, it's the white people. White people are making me do it. I wouldn't be this way if I didn't have to experience racism. The fuck you wouldn't. You would still be a piece of shit no matter what. If every goddamn one of us was the exact same fucking skin tone, there would still be pieces of shit. There would still be bad people doing bad shit and blaming it on other people. Refusing to accept that it was them who did it. Refusing to accept that they make their own decisions and that they should have to suffer the consequences of said decisions. That's always going to be the case. Because pieces of shit are pieces of shit regardless of what color their skin is. Son of a bitch. This is just not my day. I have to use the bathroom. 1 sec. Okay, I'm back. I didn't mean to make this episode about race. It was supposed to be about DC. As I said, I just ramble and rant, and it goes where it goes. It goes where it goes. I don't think that anything that I said is strange. I don't think that anything that I said is unusual, nor do I think that anything that I said should be offensive. I guarantee that there are people out there who would say that it is, who would say that, oh, well, you're white, so you can say things like that. Yep, yep. I don't let my past experiences necessarily sour me on the potential of accepting somebody as a decent person. I'm going to be cautious, like I said, based on my own past experiences. I'm going to, to be a little more scrutinizing when I deal, with certain people that present themselves in a certain way. In the same way that me personally would give somebody who looked like me, a metalhead, long hair, leather, chains, tattoos, that kind of shit. Like, if I encounter somebody like that, because I know what I look like and I know what I am like on the inside, if I meet somebody that looks like me, I'm going to give them a little more benefit of the doubt that, okay, I'm not a piece of shit. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this guy isn't a piece of shit, So maybe I'm going to be biased in that sense, in the fact that, but, the same could be said of anything, because that is, again, being human. Being human. People, human beings, want to be around people who are like them. That's just the way it is. That is the natural human impulse, is tribalism. The natural human impulse is, I feel comfortable with people who look like me. And for some reason, the only race that's not allowed to have that kind of a mindset is white people. If you are of any other race in the world, you are allowed to be proud of your race. You are allowed to but white people, we're not allowed to be proud of anything that we do, anything that we've ever done. And that shit just pisses me off. But white people are the only race that are not supposed to be allowed to want to just be around people that are like them. If you're black, if you're Chinese, if you're Japanese, if you're Indian, if you're fucking Native American, if you're fucking Somali, if you're Swahili, if you're fucking whatever, you're oh yeah, you're totally, well, it's totally understandable that you would want to be around people who are like you. But if you're white, no, you're not allowed. Because we know what happens when you white people get together. You start changing things. You start, inventing medicine. You start fucking inventing vehicles and cars and planes, and you start inventing fucking ways to farm and to make life easier for everybody. You stop wars and you end slavery, but it's never enough. It's never enough. Never enough. No matter what we do, we are always going to be the scapegoat for other people's inabilities to behave and, do things like, I don't know, follow laws. But then again, there's a class of fucking white people that I know what to look for. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole fucking class of white people out there, and they tend to have face piercings. They tend to have blue or pink or green hair. They tend to be overweight for the women or extremely effeminate for the men. And those are people that I don't want to be around for love nor money. I wouldn't choose to hang out with those people despite the fact that they are the same color as me. I would not want to be around them to save my fucking life. So, you know, it's not just a skin tone thing. It's a state of mind. Like, I know all kinds of white people that are pieces of shit. And I know some black people that are not pieces of shit. Damn! I am racking up the fucking blue chest today. What am I stuck on? Get off. That's three. Three fucking blue chests. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm 25 short. Hold on. Let me go see if I can uncover some more money. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. Hold on, though. We're gonna... Alright, nothing. Okay. Where'd you go, Blondie? She's in there now. And there's an asshole with a car. There's always an asshole with a car. Where you running to, bitch? Yeah, get in your car. Get in your car and run away. So, you know, I really don't care. I just really don't care. I just really don't care anymore. You know, you can only call somebody a bad guy for so long before they think, okay, all right, I'll be the bad guy. If that's what you want, if that's what you really want me to be, if you really want me to be the bad guy that you say I am, and that's largely what I think. What I think we need to, as I've said many times in many comments on, you know, shit that pops up on my YouTube feed. I've said many times, you know what? I think we as white people, we need, you know, just take a couple weeks, maybe just a couple weeks, and let's just show everybody. Let's just show everybody how bad we can be. Just so they understand the contrast. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can understand the contrast of what we actually are and what they perceive us to be. Just so they can see the difference there of what actual oppression is like. You know, let's just see. Like, for instance, women, American women, there is no more coddled fucking class of human being in the fucking world or that has ever existed as an American woman. There is no such, there isn't, nowhere. Nowhere in the world is there anybody who is protected, who has as many fucking rights. There just isn't. Son of a bitch. Oh my god, this is just not my day for Fortnite. And yet women think that they are the most put upon, the most oppressed. American women think that they just have no rights and everything is taken from them and they are treated like this and this. But there is no more protected fucking class of human being on the planet or ever has been in the history of man as the American female. There isn't. By the way, just to throw that out there, just to throw this out there, there's only two genders. There's only two sexes. Sex and gender are the same thing. They are different words for the same term. They have the same meaning. There are two. There is man, there is woman. Anything else is a statistical anomaly that does not count. A fraction of a fraction of the population are born hermaphrodite, which is what they claim. Why they're oh, there's no such thing. Oh, there's all kinds of others. No, there's not. There's 0.0% of the population is born with both genitalia. That does not make a rule. That proves the rule. Two genders, two sexes, male and female, man, woman. That's it. Anything else is a lie that you're telling yourself. And which is partly why they demand that the rest of us go along with it. Because here's the deal. These people, they know the truth. They know in their heads that some dude who says he's a fucking woman, he knows in his head that is not true. He knows he is not a fucking woman. And that is why they are so violently insistent that you agree with them. Because as long as there is one human being walking the fucking planet who knows the truth and believes the truth and is willing to speak of the truth, then they are constantly reminded that they are living a fucking lie. So they fight and they fucking scream and they fucking holler because they understand this. That their belief system and who they are as a person is 1,000% reliant on whether or not you agree with it. That's it. That's why they're so violent. That's why they're so emotional, because they know they are living a fucking lie. You can say, oh, that's not true. Well, yes, it is. It is 1,000% true. It is absolutely true. They require you to bend the knee in order for their existence. Matter is not the right word. But in order for them to see themselves as a human being, they need you to give up all that you believe, all that you know is true, and accept their view of the world. It is the emperor with no clothes. It is exactly the emperor with no clothes. Oh, Deadpool, I thought you couldn't die, dude. What happened? It is the Emperor with no clothes. As long as everybody goes along with it, everything's fine. And the Emperor can just go through his life and everything's great and grand and not a concern or a care in the world. But the minute that one little kid speaks up and says, he's naked, suddenly that illusion is shattered. And everybody is like, you know, he is naked. I didn't want to say anything before because I thought I might have been, somebody might have thought I was stupid or something, but he is naked, isn't he? Yup. He's naked. Stark, buck ass naked. And he demands that you not recognize that he is naked. Because to recognize that he is naked means he has to recognize that he is naked. And that's going to make him feeling all kinds of foolish. I just value in my life, one of the things that I hold dear and most important is truth. Truth. Because truth is very important. Very important. In order to exist as a society, in order for us to coexist together, we have to have an accepted truth. Not my truth, not your truth, because those terms are bullshit. There is the truth. What you're referring to when you say my truth is your experience. That does not make it truth. That just means that's how you perceived that truth. But that doesn't make it the truth. It just makes it your perception. Those are two very different things. The truth is the truth. And no matter what you try to do to cover up the truth is always there. It is always there. Shaking off all the dirt that you try to throw over it to bury it. Refusing to budge when you try to nudge it to the side or push it out of the picture. The truth is always the truth. And lies are always lies. No matter how good they may make you feel, no matter how insignificant you might try to tell people they are, oh, come on. Is it really going to hurt you to accept these people? Yes. Yes, it is. Because it's not fucking true. It's not true. Yeah. Sometimes these Fall Guys and Fortnite episodes get pretty deep because largely it's not a very complicated game. Neither one of them are very complicated. You're just, going around killing people, randomly shooting at people. There's no storyline. There's no challenges or objectives. You're just, so it lends itself to just, talking. And I talk. And the older I get, the less I give a fuck about who I offend when I talk. The less I concern myself with people's feelings. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. And like I said, if my belief in something hurts you, if it affects your life in such a way that you can't even go on you just can't exist, good, good, good. You don't deserve to exist then. If you can't wander through life knowing that most of the world does not agree with you, if you can't accept that as fact and real, then you don't deserve to wander through life. Then you are a waste of air, you are a waste of space, and you are nothing but a detriment to society as a whole. You are in fact what is holding us back. The very thing holding us back from greater achievements. That's you. Because you believe things that aren't true. And you want to force me to believe those things that aren't true. I do not require validation from other people to be happy. I do not require that other people accept my way of thinking to be happy. Not at all. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. You are allowed to believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. And so am I. And so am I. So am I. And I am perfectly content to let you go through your life believing whatever you want to believe. I'm perfectly content to allow you to go through that, to do that. I'm perfectly content. But the minute that you want to try to force me to believe one thing or another is the minute where I then know that you need to be eliminated. That you are the problem. You are the fascist. You are the Nazi. You are the bad person. Well, you can't have those ideas. Well, that's strange because I do. So the fact that I do means that I can. That's the way that works. That may be new to you, perhaps. And you may think that's mean or that's cruel or what the fuck ever, and you're allowed to think that. I don't care. Don't give a shit. Dude, I'm sucking today. You know? So, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just a dude who wants to be left alone. But if you push me to get involved, I'm going to get involved. and you're probably not going to like the side that I choose to team up with. It's that old thing of, when somebody makes you choose, rarely ever do you choose the person who makes you choose. It's that kind of theory. If you force me to take a side, I'm probably not going to take your side. If you demand that I take a side, I'm probably not going to stand beside you. All right, I'm going to join up with these people over here who didn't make me choose. Have you ever had two friends that decided had a falling out? Like you like them both equally, but they had some sort of falling out for some reason. Maybe one of them started dating the other's girlfriend. Maybe one of them took somebody else's job or opportunity or something like that. And for some reason, they just despise each other now, right? Which one, and one of them decides one day that, look, I just can't be your friend anymore if you're going to continue to be friends with him. So you're going to have to make a choice. Which one are you going to pick? Who are you going to pick as your friend? Who are you going to stand beside? The one who said, I can't be your friend if you're going to be friends with that person anymore. Or the person who says, man, I don't give a shit what you do when you're not around me. As long as you still want to hang out with me, that's all I need. Which one of those two people are you going to fucking continue to be friends with? Probably the one who doesn't care. Probably the one who's like, yeah, dude, you can be friends with them. I don't care. I'm not going to hang out with them, but I'm not going to tell you not to hang out with them because, you're still friends with him. You're going to pick that person. I knew that guy was waiting out there, but there was, no choice. I had to go out the door. I mean, that is like my default right there. That is the way that I would always determine it. Simple and easy. If you're the one that makes me choose, I'm not choosing you. But I don't know. Oh, wait a minute here. I want to go to the woods. I usually have better luck in the woods. And I haven't gone to the woods in this whole stream. Let's see if I can find my big ass fucking tree stump. So if you're watching this video, I hope you don't take offense at anything that I've said. But if you do, you do. If you do, you do. I can't change that. And I'm not going to fault you for it. I just recently stopped following somebody that I've been following for several years. And whose content I greatly enjoyed because he decided to take a stand on the ICE situation. And it was the wrong stand to take. He said, fuck ICE. And I said, yep, I'm done with you. Because you're an idiot. You're an idiot who has no idea what he's talking about, who is uninformed, who has not looked at the issue, who does not understand anything about politics, who does not understand anything about societal um, structure or the economy and how that works and how taxes are paid and what it goes to. You have absolutely no understanding of anything. But boy, you got a big heart. Oh, you got a big heart, don't you? Don't you? And I had known that this particular content creator for a long time. I had known that I know what way you lean. But he was always he never said anything. He never came out. He never fucking picked a side. He was always very wary that he had people from all over the place, all kinds of walks of life, all kinds of ideas who were his fans, right? So he never said anything. And then one day he decided to say something, and I was like, "Yep, fuck you, dude. Fuck you, dude. I'm not doing this." You could have just shut the fuck up. You could have stayed out of it like you had been doing. You could have just made your funny content. You could have just fucking did this, but nope. You had to end a video that was completely unrelated in every way, shape, and form from anything even remotely to do with ICE and immigration. You had to take the last 5 minutes of your fucking video and you had to just insert that the fuck in there and just to let everybody know and to virtue signal how you felt about this one particular topic. And I guarantee you, I'm not the only fan he lost that day. I guarantee it. Because we are so goddamn sick of fucking idiots making emotional, childlike decisions. People looking at things through the lens of a fucking infant, a toddler who has no understanding of the world and how it works, but they think, well, why don't you just do this? If it was that simple, wouldn't that be fucking awesome? But when has anything ever been that fucking simple? When? Never. It's when? Never. I guess I'll stop now. Since how I ran out of ammo. Where's the storm? Oh shit, I'm good. And I suppose I'm doing kind of the same thing. I'm making statements that firmly set me on one side or the other. I suppose I'm doing the same thing that he did. And how can you justify blah blah blah? I get it. I get it. But like I was saying, I totally understand that if you've seen anything, if you've heard anything me say any of this, and it's oh son of a bitch, and it has made you be like, well, fuck this guy. I mean, I lost one just a few weeks ago because we got into a political disagreement. And I hated to see him go, but it was like, yeah, dude, if yeah, if this means that you can't watch me anymore, well, okay, I guess that's okay. I guess I don't know. I mean, I get it. I don't fault you for it. I hope you don't. I hope you're, you know, but if it does, it does. I think more people need to be willing to take a stand on what is true and what is not. I think more people like the dude who I was talking about who made ICE and immigration an issue in his video. I think more people need to call those people out and be like, why do you believe that? Why do you say fuck ICE? You know, do you not believe that a country should be able to say who is and isn't in their country? Do you believe that there should be nothing, no kinds of borders? Do you believe that all people are one and that you should be able to just walk from country to country and no issue at all and nobody ever asks you for any paperwork or anything? That is stupid. You're an idiot. You're an ignorant fucking child if you believe that is the case. That world will never happen. It'll never exist. Ever. 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 As long as humanity is alive. As long as we are still here, that will never exist. Ever, ever, ever. It is an infantile dream. The word utopia, the word utopia in itself is something that cannot exist. It cannot be achieved. That's what the word means. It's not something that you can be like, we need a utopia. And that's a thing that we can achieve. It's not something that you can achieve. That's why the word exists. It describes something that isn't possible. That is why the word was invented, to describe something that isn't possible. You can want it to be possible. You can say, wouldn't it be nice? Imagine, by John Lennon. Imagine. Yeah, you can imagine it, and that's all you can do. You can imagine it because it's not fucking possible. As long as there are different countries, there will be people with different viewpoints, with different beliefs, with different societal constructs and structures and fucking acceptable behaviors. There will always be different religions. There will always be different families, bloodlines, shared experiences that make this group of people different from that group of people. That is always the way humanity will be. That is always the way that we have been. That's always the way it's going to be. It's just that simple. In every joke, somebody has to be the butt. Somebody has to be the punchline. Somebody is always going to be considered less than other people based on behaviors, based on statistics, it's just the way it is. So am I right wing? Yup. I am. Am I far right? Well, everything right wing is far right today. Literally everything is far right today. Well, you didn't think I had that, did you? But I did. but I did. I mean, I guess we'll take the shotgun. No, not the bandage, jackass. That. Yep. Anybody who believes anything that is, one step to the fucking left is considered far right. Have you ever noticed that there's no right wing anymore? When they talk about right wing, there's no right wing. It's all far right. Everything is all far right because you're either left or you're far right, and that is simply not the case. And if you think, let me just say this, if you think that Donald Trump is a fascist, if you think he's bad, you have no idea. There are people in my party, and I'm one of them. I'm one of them who are losing, who are dwindling their support for him because he's not going hard enough. Because we want him to do more. We want him to go harder. Because we are tired of the bullshit. And when you tell it people, like I said earlier, probably in the Fall Guys episode, if you tell people that they're the bad guy enough, often enough, eventually they stop giving a shit. Oh, hey. Why are you fucking with me, dude? See what happened? See what happened? That didn't have to happen. He made it happen. Yeah. Just rambling on, ranting. Screaming at the sky, screaming at the sky. I get it, I know. But you see, that pendulum, she's a swinging. She's a swinging back to the right. The pendulum of society is swinging back to the right. And it is swinging hard back to the right because of how hard they pulled it to the left. How hard and how quick they pulled it to the left. And it is about to go super fucking right. To the point that it's going to take probably decades for it to even slow down the momentum. That's how bad you people on the left have fucked up. when you psychopaths get out there and start running cops over with your fucking cars because you believe that if you don't agree with the law that you just don't have to follow it. You just don't have to follow it. Oh, I don't believe in that, so I shouldn't have to do it. Since when is that a thing? Since when has that ever been a thing? That if you don't agree with the law, you just simply don't have to follow it. It's never been a thing. Since when has it been a thing that if you see a cop pulling somebody over, that you're allowed as just a civilian to just wander up and be like, hey, can I see your warrant and your paperwork? Why are you detaining this person? What did you do? No, you've never had that right. You've never had that right in this country, and you never will have that fucking right in this country. But that's what a large portion of people believe that they should be allowed to do. I don't agree with this, so I just don't have to follow it. I don't agree with this, so I can go get in that cop's face and demand that he show me paperwork and fucking blah, 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 blah. No, you don't. If there is a cop arresting somebody and you go try to throw your ass involved in it, here's what's going to happen. At the best, you're probably going to get thrown on the ground and your face smashed into the concrete. Deservedly so. At best. At worst, slightly worse than that, you might do jail time. But at absolute worst, you might get shot. And if you get shot because you wandered your ass into a police situation, if you get shot for that, you deserve to get shot. You deserve to get shot. You are asking to get shot. Like practically begging for it. Because as far as an officer knows, you might be that person's friend who's going to pull out a weapon at any minute and kill that cop to keep your friend from going to jail. How does he know that that's not what you're doing, that that's not who you are, and that's not the situation? They don't know. They have no fucking idea. All they know is that they've got somebody who broke the law that they're trying to take in, and somebody is trying to stop them. That's all they know. And some idiots out there might be like, well, they could tell them if somebody says, well, I'm not this, I don't know this person, but still, you should tell me. You know, it's like, I don't know that you're telling me the fucking truth. I don't know that what you're saying is accurate information. All I know is that I'm a cop, this person broke the law, I'm arresting them, and you are trying to stop me. Which is in itself against the law. And all of this is fueled by the media and by the Democrat representatives. All of it is fueled by them. Every bit of it is fueled by them because they want you people to die. Because if you die, you become martyrs for their cause. They can then hold you up as somebody. Look at Jane Doe. She did this, this, and this, and she got shot because she was standing up for what she believed in. So you need to vote for us so we can put those people out of power. That's what they want you for, as a prop, a number, a statistic that they can then use to manipulate people to what they want them to do. That's all you're doing. You are being a useful idiot, a tool for them. That's it. And so many of you out there just cannot see or understand or comprehend that that is what is going on. But that is 100% what the fuck is going on. They want you people uninformed. They want you emotional. They want you irrational. So they feed into the bullshit, stupid things that you believe. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Oh, of course. Obviously, a man can give birth to a baby. Of course. Vote for us. Give us that power. They manipulate you people, and you let it happen because you're infants. You refuse to see the details of the picture. All right, we're going to do one more. We're going to do one more. But I got to use the bathroom again. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Like I said, we're going to do one more. This is just not been my day for Fall Guys and Fortnite, which is fine. Not always going to get victories, and I understand that. You have good days, you have bad days. I am racking up the kills though. You gotta give me credit there. I'm getting a shitload of kills. But yeah, if I said something here that offended you, I apologize. But you know, I'm not gonna change my belief system because you want me to. I'm not gonna change who I am as a person and the fundaments of everything I hold dear because you want me to. If you know, if I decide to talk about a topic, I'm going to talk about a topic and my opinion on it. And my opinion is based, like I said earlier, on my experience and what I have gone through and what I have witnessed and what I have heard. And that's every human being. Every human being does the same thing. And again, I'm not going to fault you for it. Like I said, I just recently unsubscribed from somebody I've been following and loving their content for years because they made a stupid, they said a stupid thing. And you might think that something that I said here today was stupid, and that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, you are welcome to believe that. You are within your right to believe that. You are within your right to follow anybody on YouTube that you want to follow for whatever reason you want to follow them. But I know it's like you know by somebody's, well, number one, there is no reason at all to be anti-ICE. Because immigration enforcement is a thing that has to happen. It has to exist. You cannot just allow people to come and go as they please through your fucking borders without knowing who they are, what they're doing, what they want to do. You cannot permit that to exist. There has to be laws in order for a society to function and work, and everybody be as close to happy as they can be. You're not going to be guaranteed happiness. You're not going to be guaranteed that everything that you want you're going to get. You're not going to be guaranteed that. That's not the truth. Because most of these people out there who want this utopia and this socialist kind of fucking life and government, they don't understand. They think what's going to happen is, oh, we've got socialism now, so I don't have to go do my job. All I can do is I can just sit at home and I can work on my paintings, or I can work on my poetry, or I can work on these arts and crafts that I want to do, and all this shit. That's what they think is going to happen. That's not what's going to happen, because largely those kind of people are not educated. They don't go to college. You know, those type of creative people, they're not, they don't do that, right? So you're uneducated. You have no real skill set. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to give you the lowest, most menial fucking task that they can fucking find. You're going to be garbage men. You're going to be ditch diggers. You're going to be sewage fucking workers. You're going to be fucking factory workers that get worked to the fucking bone and long fucking hours. That's what you're going to be. They don't understand that. A system like socialism is only good for the people who are on top. Everybody down under, like Canada, for example. Everybody talks about Canada's fucking healthcare system and how awesome it is because nobody has to pay for everything. Number one, yes, you do. You pay for it in taxes. You have to pay for it in taxes. When you have a socialized form of medicine, that you pay for it with your taxes. So that's a falsehood right there. The money from the government comes from the people. The government doesn't just have money. They make their money off of taxes from you and the money that you make, and the permits and the licenses and the bullshit that they force you to spend money on. That's where the government's money comes from. It doesn't just come out of thin air. That just because they're printing it out doesn't mean that, okay, we've got all this money now. That's not the way that works, you see. So that's number one. It's not free. You do pay for it. Number two, when you are providing a service for people and you only have a limited supply of money, you're not going to give everyone 5-star service. You're going to give them the lowest amount that you can because you have to provide for so many fucking people. So yeah, Canada does have socialized medicine and quote unquote, it's free, but you wait in line for a year before you get to see the doctor. Like you break a hip, you're going to be sitting in line for a year before you get to see a doctor to get your hip fixed. You're going to get the most minimum coverage that they can fucking provide you because they have to provide it for everybody. That's what they don't tell you. See, everybody thinks that, oh, we're going to go to socialism. So if I get hurt, then I'm going to get like a 5-star room and I'm going to get gourmet meals, in the hospital. They're going to give me ultrasounds and all this other shit. No, no, they're going to put a Band-Aid on it. Why do you think Canada is so behind assisted suicides? Why do you think Canada is pushing that? There was a dude just a couple of weeks ago who fucking got assisted suicide for seasonal fucking depression. There was a woman last year because she couldn't afford her health care bills. They said, well, we could just kill you. That is socialized medicine right there. We're going to give you the lowest bar that we can fucking possibly give you, or we could just kill you. Which one do you want? That's socialism, kids. That's socialism. Now, for that top 1%, that's the thing. The 1% is going to remain absolutely the same. They're still going to have all of their luxuries. They're still going to have all of their money. You're just going to have less of it and no opportunity to join that upper class. See, now with capitalism, you can do that. You could start a business. You could start a business. It could take off. You could grow. You could amass wealth, and you could have a store in every fucking, every fucking state, maybe every fucking city. You could go worldwide, and you can achieve that with capitalism. With socialism, there is no climbing the ladder. You are born as a piece of shit, or you are born as royalty. That is socialism. And that royalty doesn't want to let you in. Look at Hunger Games. That's socialism right there. The majority of the population lives in squalor, while the upper top says this is the way that you must live. Not us, but you definitely have to live this way, and it's for the greater good. Because the only way to make everyone equal is to make everyone nothing. That's it. That is it. That is it. You're not going to adopt socialism and suddenly everybody's going to have $1 million in their fucking bank account. That's not the way that's going to work. That's not the way that's going to work. But that's what they believe. Because that's what their fucking thought leaders want them to believe. Because they want that power. They want that permanent fucking power. So they lie to you. They feed in to your foolish, false, and juvenile ideas of life and what it should be. And they manipulate you into being frothing, fucking just absolutely irrational rage beasts because you have become their army. And if you succeed, fantastic. If you fail, well, that's even better. The left can only exist if they never solve a problem. Because that's how they get you to give them power. They create a problem and then say, vote for us and we will fix said problem. And then their solution is to make the problem worse. And then the next time around, they say, well, look, the situation got worse. And it's not our fault. It's because of that other side. So make sure you vote for us again and put us in power. We'll fix it this time. And then they never do. See, we're having the same fucking problem on the Republican side right now. We know as the people who vote for these motherfuckers how to fix this country. And right now, they won't fucking do it. They won't take the power. They won't do what we have voted them in to do because they too profit from the broken fucking system. There's bad politicians on both sides, people that are willing to just absolutely abuse and misuse the trust of the people who vote for them. That happens on both sides. It's just not as widespread on the right side as it is on the left side. It's just not. There's not. You don't see people on the right side, you know, um, attacking people every day. You don't see us on online threatening to kill people because they have a different belief or because they don't believe that a man can have a baby and they don't believe that men should be in women's sports or they believe and understand that men are genetically different from women and that you know it's simply a truth. It's a truth that men are genetically fucking stronger, physically superior to women. I'm not saying better. I'm just saying we're stronger. We're faster. We can take more pain. You know what I'm saying? That's what we were designed. That's what the male body is designed to do. It is designed for hunting, for combat, for defense. That's what the male body is designed for. And the female body is designed for nurturing, for caring, for upbringing. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's why women are softer. That's why they have more curves, and men are just fucking like planks because we're designed for different reasons. We are not interchangeable. I am not capable of caring for a child because that is not genetically what I am built to be. I mean, I can protect one. I can fight off anything that threatens it, but as far as day to day, nurturing and stuff, that's not what men are designed for. Now, and you can say that's not fair, and it's like a flower, it's like a rose saying it, or a daisy saying it's not fair that I'm not a rose. Okay, you can't change it. I could paint the daisy red. It's still a daisy. It's still going to be a daisy, and the paint that I just put on it is going to shorten its lifespan. It's going to make it die quicker. It's going to make it stand out as obviously something that isn't natural. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, I had a lot to get off my chest today. Apparently, I had a lot to get off my chest today. So I don't expect either of these episodes. Well, I mean, part of the reason that I can say whatever the fuck I want to say on these Fall Guys and Fortnite episodes is because nobody watches them. When they were videos or when they're live streams, hardly anybody's here. So I can just rattle on. And somebody down the road might stumble across the videos and be like, "Holy shit, he went off on this one." But largely nobody watches these, so I can say whatever the fuck I feel like saying. There's a safety there. It's not that I wouldn't fucking say this on any other stream. Like I said on the first Descendant morning show, which is my most watched fucking thing that I do, really. You know, I was going off about politics, and one of the regulars disagreed with a lot of the things I was saying and decided to unsubscribe. And I was like, hey, I hate to see you go, but if that's what you feel like you got to do, that's what you know, I don't fault you for it. I don't want to lose anybody, especially not at this stage of my channel, trying to develop it, trying to hit the next major milestone. But I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. I'm not gonna see something, or everything is tied to politics now. There's no escaping it. There's no escaping it. From what video games you play, from what movies you like, from what music you listen to, there's no escaping it. Everything that you do or say, or everything that you enjoy, every hobby that you have, everything like that, it all points to a particular fucking political fucking viewpoint. Fucking, they say working out is fucking white supremacist. They say drinking milk is white supremacist. They say fucking owning dogs is white supremacist. They say fucking hiking is white supremacist. They say enjoying the outdoors is white supremacist. Literally. So it's like, okay, okay, all right then. Do you see why I say that eventually when you tell somebody that there are certain things so often, they just eventually say, you know what, fine, I'll be that. And you're gonna fucking regret making me do this. You're gonna fucking regret making me be the thing that you have told me I was for fucking a decade now. You are going to fucking regret it because now I'm gonna go at you just as hard as you have gone at me, and you are going to fucking lose. Do you know why? Because I have truth on my side and you have nothing but lies. Your entire belief system, your entire way of thinking is structured on a very shaky fucking foundation. It's on a rickety fucking, oh yeah. So hey, thanks for being here. The people, nobody was here. But thanks for being here. You know, I don't think anybody's here, but I'll go ahead through the spiel. Hey, oh shit, yes, I'm still here. Sorry. Um, if thank you for anybody who was in the chat, but there wasn't anybody. Thank you for anybody who was in lurking, but there wasn't anybody. Thank you for anybody who might be watching this video later, which there probably won't be. If any of you groups of people saw anything that you like, if you have a similar mindset to mine, maybe you have a similar political viewpoint. Maybe you're just like, hey, I like your content, dude. I don't give a fuck what you think. Thank you for making it this far. I appreciate it. Maybe you could see your way clear to leave me a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe. A subscribe would be very, very, very helpful. I'm trying to hit that 500 mark. I'm 89 away from it. I've been stuck at 80, 80, 80, 89 to 88 for like several months now. But, it'll change when it changes. If you should choose to support the channel in a different way, you can find links to my Patreon and my Coffee on my YouTube community page. If you saw something you think might be worth a buck or two, that'd be where to drop it, and I appreciate it. While you're at it, check out the rest of the shit on my channel. I've got over 1,200 videos, all sorts of stuff to entertain the shit out of you. I've got concerts I've been to. I've got original music that I write the lyrics to, and I stress that I write the lyrics to. There's a massive human component in the music that I make, and I give a life to my songs through an AI app in the form of a four-piece all-girl metal band called The Circle. They are Winters Lane, lead vocals and bass, Rose Rolando, additional vocals, rhythm guitar, and piano, Olivia Burnstorm, additional vocals and drums, and Yvette Raynette, additional vocals and lead guitar. Currently 10 albums on my channel. It's good quality music. If you put aside your bias towards AI for just a minute and just give it a listen, I think you might enjoy it. You can also find the lovely ladies of The Circle every Wednesday night on Wicked Wednesday Night. That is the female division of my original character simulated wrestling federation. The men's division is every Monday for Monday Night Mania. Then I also have a female celebrity federation. It's every Tuesday for Tuesday Night Download. I've got a DC versus Marvel coming out in a couple months. I've got upgrades for the men's division and the female celebrity federation coming towards the end of the year. I've got on top of that, I do daily live streams between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. where I play the Fortnite, or literally the Fortnite, the First Descendant. Sometimes chat joins up and we take on the more challenging missions, and sometimes they're just there to give me moral support. Sometimes they're just there to give me shit. But a fun time is had by all, so we would love to see you there. Stop on by. Then every Friday, as you saw today, I have Fall Guys Fortnite Friday, where I play, what is it? Fall Guys and Fortnite. And on top of all that, I have a shitload of playthroughs, all kinds of genres, all kinds of titles. I've got horror, action, adventure, racing, roguelite, walking simulators, you name it. Got a massive library of over 300 games. I keep new stuff in constant rotation as other stuff ends. So if there's something out there that you'd be interested in watching me play, just throw it in the comments. I will check my library. If it's in my library, bam, it goes to the top of the list. It is just that easy to have impact on the content that is produced by this channel. It is just that easy. And I guess, ladies and gentlemen, cats and kittens, boys and girls, thank you so much for being here. Once again, sorry that this got, to some touchy subjects, but that's life. Sometimes touchy subjects are what we talk about, and we should be able to talk about. We should be able to share our ideas. We should be able to bounce back off of each other. We should be able to come up with things that some people might think inappropriate or rude or crude or crass or whatever, because these are questions that have to be asked. These are things that have to be discussed. These are truths that have to be recognized, whether you like it or not. And there's a whole bunch of us out there who aren't willing to put aside the truth anymore, just to save somebody's feelings from getting hurt. We're not doing that anymore, kids. We're not doing that anymore. That time is done. That time is over. You had a good 10 years. You had a pretty good solid 10 fucking years, but it's done. The rest of us are tired. So that just leaves me to say thank you once again. And I really do mean that. And until next time, later.